I don't want no gravestone when I go. If you could plant a tree. No gravestone when I go, carving my name for me. You can tell everybody they'll find shelter in the shade as the sun hangs from my branches. My eternal bed is made. When the earth is my bed sheet and my body is a shell, let my rings count the stories that only time can tell. I don't want no gravestone when I go, and you could plant a tree. I don't want no gravestone when I go, carving my name for me. Carving my name for me, yeah.
Hey, I'm just going to cut that. It's freezing up on my end. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Bizarre the Unknown. I'm your host, E.D. Testman. Special guest, Cory Cole. The man, the myth, the oogity boogity of Oklahoma himself. How's it going, Cory? So, I apologize to everybody. Hey, Kevin. Apologize. Shane got called in to work. So we're going to be pushing that show back for another time. So I asked Cory to join me. And hey, Tanya, we're just going to kind of, smoke and joke together and just talk cryptids, paranormal. Hey, Justin, supernatural. Just like we're sitting around a campfire sharing stories, man. I figured it'd be something fun. Not as formal as we usually do on Sundays, but just something kind of fun to do. So that's kind of what today's show is going to be about. I just brain farted, man. My internet, you guys. I got a technician that's coming next Friday to fix my internet. I've been on the phone with Viasat most of the day trying to get this freaking thing to work. So I'm going off a little Verizon MiFi pack that it's hit and miss if it's going to work. I mean, it's not working very good. But sadly, it's the only thing I got right now. What are you knocking over? So with that being said, Cory, anything new been happening in your area? Because, man, you got a lot of stuff that goes on in your area. Hey, Joanne.
A lot of wind blowing right now.
Hey, William.
Power kept going off today. And I'm trying to charge my computer.
I
didn't get that done.
Yep. Hey, Vicky. Yeah, I know. Last night after we got done with the show last night, it was probably a little later on. We had one hell of a storm came through, but it was like it did last week. It lasted like 2 or 3 seconds or 2 or 3 minutes, and it was gone. It was done. A lot of wind, a lot of ruckus, heavy rain, thunder, lightning for about 2 or 3 minutes. Boom, done. Just always last week. So, which is interesting too, because go ahead.
Oh, I just could tell you a story. When the wind blows, I got a metal barn built around my house. When the wind blows, it vibrates the house. And I sat there and I looked at the weather before I went to bed. Everything was clear. And all of a sudden, I hear this, and then it goes quiet for a second, and I'm laying there, and I'm thinking, and I start coming to, and it's making that noise.
making was it, do you think it was the wind or do you think it was something else?
Puppy.
Oh.
Can't hear me?
It's
Hello?
you're in and out. You're in and out.
Okay. Hold on.
Why the hell's my TV connected to my internet? It's jacking up a little bit.
How about now?
I got my TV turned off. There you
Okay. I got the phone right up to my face.
go. I can see the bugger, left cave, bear cub, left cave. Man. I know last time we was on was a Saturday. We was kind of going over, go there. You go. Kevin says it's gooder.
All right.
We was talking about how the storms and what they pushed any cryptids, and I'm kind of wondering the same thing because, man, we've been hearing some interesting noises out in the woods here. I mean, even the dogs are jumping at it, or, I mean, it could be completely silent, and all of a sudden my dogs will jump up, start going nuts, and then you think, sounds like you can almost hear some talking off in the distance a little bit. Still can hear it through my walls, but it ain't like it was right next to it. So this with you still having them storms and fires, you noticed anything since the time we talked about maybe possibly more cryptid activity?
Now, I've been, it's been kind of quiet here. I mean, it got a little strange after the storm, after the dust storm, but I just,
Mm-hmm.
man, I can't stand the wind when it gets like that because it disorients me, especially out in the woods. I think that's the best time for something to sneak up on you
Mm-hmm.
is when the wind's blowing.
Oh yeah.
On those cold winter nights when I'd have to go out.
Well, I mean, last week. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say the cold
I'll
nights,
say.
I had to go out and check the heaters. And the wind was blowing. Something kind of blew down on top of me one night when I was out there, because you feel this north wind, and then all of a sudden something comes down from above and just woof. Man, I went outside. I went back inside, and I didn't go out the rest of the night.
Yeah. Donna says, Corey, are you okay?
I think I'm okay.
You
Let me
okay,
see.
Corey?
Let me check. Yeah, I'm okay.
Hold on a second. Well, whoop this out. Movie reference. Who caught it? Who knows it? What movie is that from, everybody? Last week, Springfield was covered in a real brown haze. I mean, real thick brown haze from all the wind. Of course, we had a lot of fires up here. Arkansas had fires. Oklahoma had fires. And because, of course, all the dust. I mean, we were having one day was bouncing between 40 and 50 mile an hour winds. The next day was bouncing between 50 and 60 mile an hour winds. I mean, it was just kicking a whole bunch of crap up, and everything was coming from the south. So, I've noticed with these strings.
I got a buddy that lives down in Texarkana, and he's got a timber company, and he said that they got a problem right now with fires and their vehicles, all their machinery getting stuck out in the woods. So the ground's muddy, but the top of the grass and everything's dry.
Mm-hmm. No, Oklahoma is a place I want to be. I can't remember the song. That's the only part of that song I remember.
Where
What's that?
The wind comes sweeping down the plain.
There you go. That's it. Yeah. I haven't heard that song in so long. Hey, David. God, we used to sing that in grade school. That's how long it's been since I've heard that song. It's been a long time. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking with what activity we've had here. I mean, it's been pushing cryptids around in my area. I'm pretty convinced. I think they've been trying to dodge it. And, they'll go in when when everything's hitting the fan, then they'll come out for a little bit and then go back in again.
Don was asking if I have any dogs in my area. Yes, I do. Had my first dogman experience about 2.5 years ago, something like that. Me and a friend of mine were arrowhead hunting down on close to the Red River. I live about 7 miles north of the Red River at the very bottom of Oklahoma, where it separates Oklahoma and Texas. And we were arrowhead hunting, and I went back to the pickup and sat down and was drinking some water, and I just noticed something strange about where we parked, because we always park the pickup in this one spot facing a thicket. And I got to looking, and there's a hole pushed all the way through that thicket. And I thought, something's watching me through that thing. It looks like a face. And it was a face shaped like a cow, wide at the top, narrow at the bottom. I saw eyes. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching this thing. I'm looking and I'm thinking, man, is that a brindle colored cow watching me through the hole in the thicket? And something had just pushed through it to where it could watch me. And I sat there and I thought, what the hell is that? And my buddy, when I told him I was walking back to the pickup, he said, I'll be right behind you. Well, I guess it heard him coming from the south, coming north. And that thing just went and just disappeared. It just shot out of the side, shifted to the side. And there was another one sitting behind it, watching me after the first one moved. And my buddy come to the pickup and he said, what are we doing? And I was taking pictures of it. And I said, you see that hole in that thicket? And he said, yeah. And I said, walk up there and see what that is. He walked up there, and he carries a holster pistol. He walks up and stops and kind of squats down and looks. And I've never seen him draw his pistol before, ever. And he drew it and backed all the way to the truck like this, pistol out, backing all the way. He hopped in the pickup, and I said, what did you see? And he said, I didn't see nothing. So we got back to the house, and I said, you ain't leaving until you tell me what you saw. He said, I didn't see nothing, Cory. Something growled at me. And that was my first dog experience. 2 of them.
Damn.
Doing something very intelligent.
I've seen some odd looking wolves in my time. I can't ever say I've seen a dog man or a werewolf. I've seen some odd looking wolves. Some of them bigger than what they should be. Some of them don't look like they should be in this area. But they were on all fours. I can't say one way or another if they were or not. So I just chalked it up to odd looking wolves. Don says he lives 40 miles south of the state line. So he lives south of the border.
Texas?
I don't know. He just said 40 miles south of the state lines. I don't know if that's in Oklahoma or if that's Texas. I'm not 100% sure.
We won't hold it against him if it is.
So, yeah. I guess I probably shouldn't break out another movie reference dealing with Texas.
I guess what you could say my first, and I don't know, I think it was a king coyote or some type of wolf. But before that dogman incident, I walked out after and we had a thunderstorm, and we had a ton of lightning that night. So that pretty much keeps me indoors. I almost got. And I walked out, and my shop ramps down at the front, and I looked, and there's a spot where I had driven over the red dirt and hardened it down, And I looked, and it was it had only printed half of the track of the wolf. And I thought, man, that's a big son of a bitch. So I start looking around it, and there's these pup tracks all around it. Well, I figured out them wasn't pup tracks. Them were full grown coyote tracks. That's how big this half a track was that made this, half a print. So I'm thinking, okay, I know which direction it was going. So I start tracing it, and the only way I can figure out where it's going are the small tracks. I don't see any more big tracks. And I hooked around to the north side of my house, and there's a bunch of blue stem grass growing up right there. And what I did was I just went where I thought the wolf would go. It went down the side of my building. This is all sheer luck. I'm not a tracker, but I, use a little common sense. And there's a big driveway down the middle of the nursery, and I found one print in the middle of the driveway, and it's probably 40 feet across the driveway from one side to the other, and that son of a gun only left one print. And y'all, it's big as the size of my hand. I mean, I got pretty decent sized hand. This is back during flip phone times. I hadn't got a smartphone yet, so I took a picture of it, but I put my palm down next to it to show how big this son of a gun was. And I sent it to two of my friends who hunt a lot, and they both said the same thing. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look at it a little longer. That's it.
I wonder, I got one sent to me. I can't remember if it was you who sent it to me or not. And I'm looking for it real quick. Don says, Corey, I saw a dog man come south into Oklahoma on my way to Paris, Texas.
Yeah, they like the river. I was probably 5 miles from the Red River when I had the incident with the two of them. No, I got meat hooks, not paws, freaky.
Don says, we saw a bigger than a Shetland pony. Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah. But think about this. Okay, what animals sit and go, all right, I'm going to watch these guys through this hole, and you sit right behind me in case I have to move. And then you can watch them. That's a human type cunningness, That's some serious intelligence right there. To think of that, that's working together.
Oh no, that's a set of bones you sent me.
What's that?
Oh, deck on you. Oh, yeah, I was trying to find that wolf print I've got on my computer that I can't remember who sent it to me, and I was trying to think if that was you or not.
Probably
so I'm looking for it. I was in your file. Probably wasn't you.
It probably wasn't me because I lost that pic.
Yeah, I was looking in. Oh, did you? Yeah, I was in your file, and I remember a set of bones that you sent me that you found. I think it was arm bones, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since we talked about it. I'm trying to find that pic.
Did I ever send you the leg bone? The photo of the leg bone?
That's it. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a fossilized leg bone. A human leg bone.
Yeah. But if I remember right, you was telling me that was bigger than a normal human's leg bone.
Man, I honestly, I don't think it was a giant's. I think it was just it could have been Neanderthal, but the length of it was just that length from the bottom of the knee to the bottom of the heel. I measured it. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 17 inches or something like that. So that's about average.
Okay.
the big
So it could
question,
have just been an ancestor.
well, the big question is, my best friend's great granddad was a heavy equipment operator, and they were building all the highways in eastern Oklahoma at the time. So this would have been in the, I'm gonna say, anywhere from mid to late 30s, and they built the highway through Atoka and Hugo and all down through there. So these independent operators would just go contract through the state. They were moving some boulders, and my best friend, he worked out here for about 11 or 12 years. So me and him, we've hung out a lot, and he'd always tell me, "I've got a fossilized human leg bone," and I said, "Whatever." Well, he finally showed up with it and said that his granddad or great granddad was pushing a boulder. No, that's not me.
That's not you. Oh, it was William. I just seen it here.
Oh,
Never mind. It was William who sent it to me. Okay. Yeah. I mean that's a big wolf print right there.
yeah.
Larry, Roger, how's it going? I know I'm missing Freaky. How's it going? I'm trying to get caught up on the comments, guys. Okay, so that wasn't you. Yeah, that's a big one right there. Is that kind of what you were seeing?
Yeah. Yeah. It, but I put my hand down next to it to show these guys how big it was. And that's
Oh,
all.
wow, Tim. Hey.
Identical. 1.5
Damn.
prints is all I found from that thing. And like I
Wow.
said, I had to follow the small ones to track the big one. And I thought it was pups at first, and then I got to thinking, man, these are full-grown cow tracks around it. It's making it look like pups tracks. Somebody said something about a fossilized leg found in a cowboy boot in Texas. Well, this fossilized leg I had the picture of was taken in my living room floor. I put the pieces back together and everything. It's in 5 pieces. But when he pushed up on the boulder and started to roll it, he seen something underneath it, and he held his load and got off of it and started looking, and somebody else walked over there, and they said, "Man, what is that?" It was a complete human skeleton under the boulder, stuck to it in the dirt. When he pushed it up, it stayed stuck to the boulder. And they got to looking at it, and it started slipping off the blade. And all the leg was all they could get off of it.
Yeah. Go ahead, dude. Come on, manners. That's the one you sent me.
Nope. Hold on. I'm going to send you another one of that, Eric.
All right. That's a footprint. Or a foot. A footprint. Foot. Oh, lost Cory. We'll wait for him to come back. Yeah, that was one of the ones he sent me. Okay, dude, set still. Set still. Yeah, I remember that hammer too, Don. I can't remember if they ever confirmed it or not. I think because carbon dating is not accurate. I believe they said it was something else. I don't know. How many toes? Let me get back in there, bro. Some of them are missing, broke off. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's probably had to get off so he can send that deal. Well, wait, he'll come. He'll be back. Under a rock. Yeah, he's being needy. But yeah, it was found under a rock. But just kind of waiting for him to send that deal. Oh, thanks, Vicky. He's being a butt today, like always, huh? Oh, the hammer was in the ground. Uh, the hammer was buried in the ground. If it's the same hammer I'm thinking of, it was it was buried in the ground. I think it was like 10 or 15.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yep.
Okay, I sent the picture to you.
Okay. Yeah, I just got it.
Okay.
I bet I got to sit down. Compared to the leg bone of a grizzly, looks similar. Yeah, you'd be surprised how much a bear's skeletal structure. Oh, I remember that one. I still don't have that one. A bear's skeletal structure does look like a human, very much like a human. Oh, that one was in a rock. Okay, yeah, it was a different one. You for text. Hey, Bounty. Yeah, yeah. So we were talking. The one I was thinking of that they um, sorry, trying to multitask here. Were they found it? They couldn't definitively say it was it was 5,000 years old because of the fact that carbon dating is so inaccurate. And the thing looked way too modern. That's why. I have to look. I have to look up that one about it being in the rock dawn. That is a good one, though.
This one was under the boulder, and it's been squashed flat. The leg has so it would had to have done slowly, right? So that way it didn't pulverize the bone.
Yeah.
So we got this guy probably climbed up a big hill or a mountain trying to get away from a flood. Hint, hint, and the dead. And he probably rode a glacier all the way to where he dropped, and I bet it started melting, and it slowly compressed the bone to keep it, to not shatter it.
You also got to consider something too. It's not unknown for humanoids in history to bury people under rocks. They've found
to do this, you would, you need some serious equipment, and
they built a pyramid.
Could have buried him under it, but how?
Yep. Now they found several humanoid skeletons under boulders and stuff like that before. I mean, that's just one of the theories.
This one was stuck to it.
Come on, man. Wow. Stuck to it?
Yeah. Stuck to it. When he pushed it up, he noticed.
Well, that made it. Huh. That would almost have to mean that it was the rock formed around it.
Yeah. Oh well, what I'm thinking, the flood. A guy's trying to get get up high, get away from it. He probably exhausted, and then a serious catastrophic weather event like that, you would have freezing weather after that. And
yeah,
everything throws around him. Well, he rides that glacier all the way to eastern Oklahoma, wherever it came from, and probably flips upside down in the process, probably rolls, flips upside down, but he's still stuck to it. So the ice is protecting it, or protecting his bones.
Yeah.
And when to a stop, he's under it, and then it slowly melts, and doesn't come down fast. Because I was sitting there thinking, how in the world is this bone, this fossilized bone, flat? And it didn't shatter it. And when they pulled it out, like I said, it was slipping from the blade, and that's all they got out from under it. And he said it's stuck to high heaven for 4 years. They raised parakeets back then, was pretty decent money. So they put it out in the parakeet building. They had it in the house in the attic, but it stunk the house up. And finally, the smell went away.
Shit, I could have swore I sent it.
That picture of it is in my living room floor.
Oh, wow. Never mind. That's still sending. That's why I haven't got it. Oh, maybe now. There we go. Not a problem. I'm saving the image right now so I can put it up.
Did it come through?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to pull it up. My internet's slow because I'm on my Wi-Fi. Hey, Kyle. There we go.
There it is.
Yep. Now I remember that one now. I remember us talking about that one.
But it's
because I was like, man, that almost looks like an axe. And you're like, no. You start, and then I was like, oh, yeah, we kind of, I can't remember what we did to it. And you can start seeing what looked like leather wrapped around his foot.
Yeah, because all your carpal bones in your toes and everything, they usually won't survive, or not survive, but stay intact because that's the smallest bones in your body next to your fingers and stuff. And this is a complete foot. Yeah. I'm thinking old boy had it like wrapped. He had his feet wrapped in leather boot or something like that. But
yeah, because you can kind of make out the flattened part of it almost looks bald there and bald there, like the top part of your, I forgot what bones that is, but yeah. And then this here, you can see right here where it almost looks like it's leather wrapped.
Yeah. And that's probably, and that chip you see out of the heel bone right there above the heel, that's actually, it's a piece that popped out of there. It looks like a chip out of it, but the piece is in it right there.
Hey, Tanya.
Kind of like craters of the moon.
Yep. It looks like a piece of it still hanging right here, too, because you can kind of see the arch right here. And then kind of like a piece of it hanging right here.
But that's well fossilized. That's a good, and like I said, it's pressed flat. Like you said, it looks like an axe. That's because it's pressed flat.
Mm-hmm. You can kind of see a groove right here. Oops, wrong way. You can kind of see a groove right here where it comes up, and you can probably see it better this one here.
That's
where it's bald.
Yeah.
Yeah, be safe, Kyle.
But it takes at least 10,000 years in the right condition for a bone to fossilize. Anything beyond that is, that's the $1 million question. But like you said, isn't that accurate?
No.
We also know if you
where
set
it
it off
looks like it.
what's that?
Looks like it.
What's that?
Looks like the leather may be bunched up right here.
Yeah. But I know if we sent it off, we'd never see it again.
Oh yeah. Man. Yeah, I remember that one now though.
But he'd been telling me he had this since he said, well, my granddad's got it. When he passes away, he told me I could have it. And he went out there and got it probably 10 or 15 years before his granddad passed. And I never got to talk to his granddad about it.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Vicky, we were looking at, I'll pop it up again here for a second. What looks like it could be a fossilized foot. You can kind of see the groove that starts about here, comes down. You can see this is balled up. Looks like leather here. That's what we were looking at.
But it's all fossilized. So the leather has been eaten away and left just the bone. But it shaped it too.
Mm-hmm.
It had something to do with the preservation of the.
Hey, Schneider. Mm.
I don't think they
Freaky says, so was.
I don't. Freaky was asking if it was a leather or a shoe or a cast. I don't know.
I don't either. To me, it's got what you can tell on that leather part of the characteristics. It really, to me, fits like a shoe. You can kind of see where it looks like it's bunched up here a little bit. You can see it worked in real good here. To me, that's more of a shoe because I'm not finding anything for support.
Right.
So, I mean, for me, I would say it's probably a shoe, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, it had to have something to preserve the carpal bones like that in the foot. To keep it solid like that.
Mm-hmm.
What you're seeing is all those carpal bones through thousands of years slowly pressing down. The weight of the boulder coming down and it melting and slowly melting. And if it wasn't frozen, the dude never would have stuck to the boulder. I don't think.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's a great pick. By all means, that's a great pick. I mean, that's one in a million right there, dude. 1 in a million.
And this guy is the best artifact hunter I have ever seen. I'm telling you. You got somebody better? Let's go have a contest. Jeremy, I tell him all the time. I said, man, I hate you. I go out there and hunt my ass off and don't even find anything. So what I do is I just go follow him and kind of watch his back. And just the other day, okay, somebody brought in a load of rock for a little garden that he was doing for somebody, and he found a freaking Comanche war club in the bucket of the tractor with the rocks in it. And I said, "You better
could have had a skin right yet." Yeah, dude, that's a hell of a find right there.
Yeah. So I think it's in his lineage or his blood that family finds things like that. They're just. He's got a whole 5-gallon bucket of dinosaur teeth that he's found.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Don, curiosity, what do you mean by skin wrapped around it? Because that's what leather is. Are you talking about like actual skin, like one of ours, or you? I'm just kind of curious on the skin part, so I can kind of get what you're looking at on that.
I think what he's asking is, does it still have it on it? No.
Oh.
But it helped the bone shape condensed and together for it to look like this, because it's like mashed flat. Like if you were laying under a boulder and had your feet kind of laid to the sides, and it just starts pressing. You know, because that's what I got to thinking. Well, why are this? Why? Because I mean, I studied kinesiology and all that stuff in college. Why are the carpal bones? How did they compress into this solid piece? And if it did compress, why aren't they shattered?
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of pound boulder, you know. But when it slipped off of the dozer blade, half a leg was all they could get out from under it before it fell.
Ooh.
That's what. So it just mashed what's left of the skeleton to pieces. But they said it was a full skeleton.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, you're Don. It could have been buffalo, could have been
Okay,
elk,
I'm back.
bear.
Hide. Yeah.
I'm going to have
Oh,
to swap
shit.
out one of my game cams.
Shit, sorry, I hit the wrong thing and I had a video playing. I gotta get back to where. Sorry about that, guys. It was a video of me checking some stuff out in the woods. Yeah, or deer. I mean, absolutely. Boots didn't exist for 10,000 years ago, so it could have been wrapped leather. I would take it to a veterinarian and have them X-ray it. I mean, yeah, but yeah, they've always had some kind of covering over their feet, especially if it was during the Ice Age period. I mean, even what we call boots, it was leather wrappings for them back then, and they had.
You know, by boot.
Yep. Oh yeah. Hey, listener.
But the thing is, if we take it anywhere or let anybody else get it, we're never going to see it again.
Yep.
I know how that works. You know, we lost it. Sorry.
Yeah. That kind of crap happens all the time.
Yeah.
I did find an interesting print a little while back. Very, very odd print. Huge print. Very squared. And that's this one here. You can clearly see the curvature of the heel, but look how squared off this print is. But I mean, this thing is huge. You can see the curve right here where it comes up.
That's
I mean, dude, it's a big one. It's one of the biggest ones I've seen.
It mashed into the earth.
Mm-hmm. You can kind of make out the toes there.
Yeah.
You can see where this side's flat, and then it comes around, and it sinks in and comes back out. This was a big boy.
Woo.
Big boy. Heavy boy, too.
You know, when they say you see one and you think it's 300 pounds, it's 6.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could tell just from this alone. Look how far that thing sunk down on the one side.
That's like a piece of heavy equipment kind of weight.
Yeah. And sadly, I didn't have plaster when I found this one, so I could never plaster it. But there's not a whole lot of detail to it. But it was just so weird how this side of his foot was so straight. I mean, just look how straight that is on that one side. But you can make out everything else.
It's the classic shape.
The what?
It's the classic shape.
Yeah. Yep. This one was found on the edge of my woods.
I bet.
That's where I found that one.
Man,
coming out of my field.
I love your audio, man, where you got the female speaking.
Oh, Shante. Yeah. You know, and I didn't think about it till William told me. Then I started thinking about the Lakota lullaby. Shante waste hoste da da giastima. But right there, Shante.
Yeah, that proves they are a tribal race. You know, it's not a coincidence that that's what she said. I don't think.
Mm-hmm. That's why I would take it to a vet and X-ray it privately. even with doing with that, it unless you know the vet, even
Yeah.
then you're taking a chance. You're taking one hell of a chance unless you absolutely know the vet very well. Do you guys want to see the meanest thing you're ever going to find when you're out in the woods? Oh crap! My freaking mouse is jumping all over the place. You guys want to see the meanest thing you'll ever see out in the woods? I remember I got the picture of that finger. He's giving me the finger. You're number one, massively.
Yeah.
Yo, this is for all those who don't go out in the woods. The meanest critter you're ever going to see in it is that right there. Hey, Firewater. I love taking pictures like this. I mean, it's just me out in the woods and I see stuff like this. This is why I love the woods, man. You know, take all the cryptid, paranormal, supernatural out of it. Just seeing stuff like this, I love it. I mean, I love finding this stuff. I forgot I had that in there, so kid, I was married to her. No, it's not a snapping turtle. It's just a box turtle. But I love that stuff, man. I mean,
Red eel. Is that what it is? The red. Do y'all have the red eel?
redhead.
Down here? Turtles. They've got the red on the side.
Oh no, these are the most common you're going to find in the woods. I mean, it's got the red head. Sometimes you'll get them with the black, brown, kind of greenish color. These are the most common you're going to find in our woods. We got different kinds. I mean, it's just a freaking terrapin. But yeah, these are the most common ones you'll find. Is these. But I mean, this kind of stuff, man. I mean, this is even if you don't find anything Bigfoot or whatever. I mean, just stuff like that, man. That's well worth going out in the woods. I've been known to mow and watch one digging an egg pit, and I'll take a tomato cage and set it over that pit when she's done, so that way I don't go over it with my mower. Yeah, they're probably one of the most common ones you'll find in North America. I mean, I love them. They're just to me, they're beautiful. They're just as much of a huge find for me than it is with Bigfoot. I don't know how that got in my cryptid file, but somehow that picture got my cryptid file, so I was laughing when I saw it.
My mom one day, she had a piece of cheese trying to feed it. I said, "You better quit that." She said, "No, I've fed him before." And I said, "Then you better be careful." And she held that cheese up there and she was going, "Come on, come on." Man, that thing bit her finger. And I laughed so hard I had to go sit down.
Yeah, my daughter does too, Roxanne. This is another one here. I didn't have a ruler on me, but you can see how wide this thing is. It comes up. I mean, I got a 9 foot. I wear a size 9 shoe, and that thing comes out a couple inches bigger than my shoe. Yeah, we used to do it all the time. But yeah, this here. I think it was a female. Just because of the width, I don't think this was a juvenile. I think this was a female. But you can kind of see where it comes around, hooks in there, comes back out, all the way up here, and then comes back around. It's about, like I said, I wear a size 9, and it's a couple inches bigger than mine. But this is common in my area. I was trying to see if I had something really good. A lot of my stuff is formations. Oh, that's a good print. Yeah, I can't remember if I've shared this one or not. That's a big print. That's a big boy. That's a pack of Lucky Strike cigarettes. Look at the size of that one there.
Now you get an idea of scale. That's.
Look how deep that thing's in there too. Now you can go. Now you've gone and done it. Eric viral picture of the dangerous boxing turtles. I figured it'd be a good one. Yeah, my buddy was out deer hunting with me. This was found this deer season. The one day we got to go out. That was the only day I got to go deer hunting. He ended up getting shot by somebody, or shot at by somebody at the road, and which pissed me off and ruined my hunt. And but he was out in my woods, and he came back. It's like, I got to show you something. I got to show you something. I was like, okay, what's up? He showed me this picture. I was like, oh yeah, I find him all the time. You got oh, I thought you had a plaster there for a second.
Okay.
So it's probably 18 feet. Oh my god, yeah.
The day after we had the two dog man incident, Jeremy went back down to the creek to go over to the spot where we do the arrowhead hunting, and he come back and man, he took a picture of it and everything, but we're kind of hell on our phones. But this is the track, and I'll never forget it. I'll remember it till the day I die. This is it right here. What it looked like.
Oh wow. Whoa. That almost looks like reptilian.
That's what someone said. But that's about what it looked like right there.
Dang, dude. I'm serious. That looked reptilian. Like, wow. What would cause that Bigfoot to drop its lucky strike? It had probably seen me going pee or something. I was laughing.
He probably switched brands that day.
Yeah. I quit. Here's another one that I found. This one's more predominant. Still don't got a lot of detail, but you can. This is a juvenile. This one here was, if I remember right, this one here was around 10 inches long. I think roughly 4.5 inches wide at the heel. If I remember right on this one, I think I got. Oh, nope, I lied. It was, is that the same one? Nope. Yep. Oh, yep. It's the same one. Yeah. So never mind. So yeah, I was close. About 11 inches. That's about 11. That's 9 inches. That's one of my wallets. That's 9 inches long. And that's a good one. You can see where it kicked up the dirt when it was walking. It drug its foot and kicked up the dirt, broke up the stick. Yeah. That's something to look at too when you guys are out there. You can see right where his toe hit there, broke this off, and kicked some dirt up. You can see it broke right there and smashed right in here. I can probably get in a little closer. That is something you definitely want to look for when you're looking for prints. See how that's all smashed up and it's broke off right here? And then all this stuff was kicked out. Tells you it was walking. That's just a couple of things to look at for when you see that.
I'm looking for a guy from Alabama who came on another podcast probably around 3 years ago. And he came on the Vault of Nightmares. This guy was from Alabama. He was behind his house. This is a big old guy. He's probably 6'4", like probably 265, 270. Big old redheaded boy. And he was behind his house, and he was digging out a beaver dam. And he said he's walked that path so much that he could walk it in the dark. He said he had a hoe and a shovel over his shoulders, walking back, no light on, pitch dark. And he said he walked past us and it slapped him in the back. And he said he thought he well. And he said he heard this thing run off and said it was braying like a jackass, going hee-haw. And he went home. He went to the house and had his wife take a picture of his back. Now this is a 6'4", 6'5" guy, and I'll bet there was bet that handprint was that big, Eric, from top to bottom.
Mm.
It looked like it had slapped him like this, like it swatted him away. And he said he guessed I didn't see it standing there, but I guess I startled it and it just kind of went, But it was a handprint of a Sasquatch. And I cannot find this guy for the life of me. He has disappeared. And I want to do an interview with him. I mean,
heck yeah.
he said he couldn't go to work for 3 or 4 days.
Oh.
He's a big guy. And it took up almost the entire height of his back. Or length of his back. That print did.
Mm-hmm.
It's lucky it didn't break his rib bones. Puncture his lung. But he said when it slapped him, he tumbled forward and rolled 2 or 3 times before he come to a stop. And that's just a little, like a sissy swat, from one of them. But what cracked me up was he said it was going hee-haw when it ran off.
Yeah, and it's amazing how many times you actually hear reports of cryptids who make weird noises. I don't know if they do it to throw you off, or
it was like a kid's, I got you,
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he said he called himself Red Feather, and I have looked on this channel, looked back on the live shows and everything, and I cannot find it anywhere, and I can't find any account of it anywhere. But this is the guy I want to talk to.
Yeah, I've heard him mimic about 4 or 5 different animals in my life. I mean, so I know they do it because I personally have heard it.
Oh, me too.
And it's them because it's loud as hell and it vibrates your chest.
I had one early one morning. I was laying in bed, and it was imitating a hoot owl, and it would go ooh ooh, and then at the very last one it would go ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've heard them do the hoot owl. They never do a at the end, but I've heard them do the hoot owls, and it rings your ears and vibrates you.
It was almost like he thought he was done.
Yeah.
And kind of went to regular voice at the very last of it. But I laid in bed and I just started laughing. And he'd do it again. And I'd start laughing again. I didn't even get up and look.
Yeah. I often wonder if they do it out here sometimes because, I mean, I've been known to stand out on my front porch and go, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat. But I've been known to stand out on my porch and hoot, I'll talk to owls. I'll be looking for turkeys, I'll just, ooh, 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 ooh. And then all of a sudden I'll start hearing the owl go off or something. I had a little person serenade us this morning with a flute about 5 a.m. Interesting.
Where's that?
I know I missed somebody. Who did I miss? I miss? Oh, Pip showed up. Good. That makes me happy, Firewater. I'm glad Pip showed up. Sorry. Yeah, somebody got into the trash can, so I'm going to have some. Hey, Juno, once the show's done, daddy mode's got to get popped in. You were talking about them voices a minute ago, so I went ahead and uploaded them while you was sharing. Here's that female. Yeah, I mean, you hear it right there. Shanti.
That's amazing.
Eric also has been known to stand on the porch. Yeah, I do. I do that. I pee off my porch. Heck yeah. Pancho, what's happening?
Hey, Firewater. I used to go outside at night and just go, just howl like a werewolf. I don't do that anymore.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I've sat out there on my porch and go, and I'll just listen. And you'd be surprised what answers back sometimes.
Well, that's what I got to thinking. I probably need to quit knocking.
Yeah. I won't whistle at night. No, I'll whistle during the day. As soon as that sun goes down, no, Fluffy Guy does not whistle at night because I don't want to be a steamy pile of turds on the forest floor somewhere. No.
Yeah, my puppy, I thought he run off the other night, and I started the wolf whistle outside, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
I'll holler his name.
Yep. Here's one of those male voices. Oops, sorry. I'll play that again here in a second. Firewater, thank you. You're badass. Nope, you're right. Parrot dog was not responsible. It was a cat. One of the cats, because all three dogs were here when it happened, so it was a cat. But thank you for the $5. You're awesome, man. I'll play that first male's voice again real quick. Now, like at the end, ka.
Yeah.
And that one was close to the house. He was close.
Man,
Man.
I wish William would have caught the flute music.
Yeah, no kidding.
That would have been awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, top of the hour. Oh, thank you. Top of the hour. Let's see here. Let's do Dark Angel Medical today, Roxanne. Let me find it. Hopefully it'll play. We'll see. Here we go. If you're looking for the best first aid or trauma kits on the market, you will not find anything better than Dark Angel Medical. I absolutely get zero money for advertising for Kerry Pocket Doc Davis. I love his products so much. I own two of them myself. One of them was in that picture in that commercial that I asked him if I can advertise. I do not get a single dime for doing this. This is how much I love his products. He has got the very best product on the market. And I get the military edition because that's what I know. I know military first aid, combat first aid. That's what I know. That's what I was trained on. So I got the combat version. They do have a police and an EMT version, if I remember right, is the other two. I know EMT for sure, but I can't remember on the police one. But I know they got a couple different versions. I went with military. They are pricey. You're going to pay for what you get, but you won't find anything better. Now, I can't afford to pay for them outright, so they're set up with Sezzle, and that's how I used to get my stuff is Sezzle. 4 payments, it's done, it's paid for. You get it while you're paying for it. You can use DA's code Cryptid20 for 20% off. If you have FSA or HSA, you can use that to buy these kits. You want to learn some first aid? You can go to youtube.com /at Dark Angel Medical 5115. Oh, I got to scroll up. Or you can go to Instagram to Dark Angel Medical, and Carrie Pocket Doc Davis puts out first aid videos. Okay. Oh, you got to hear it again, William. Sukalu. That's Lakota, ain't it? Sukalu. Oh, Cherokee. That's right. Sukalu is the Cherokee Bigfoot with red eyes, said to take the people from this world to the shadow realm. Oh.
Hey, I heard
Hey, Joanne.
Give an encounter about, communicating with some Sasquatch when she was a kid. And then she had a red-eyed one show up, and the father of the clan that she was friends with came and told her, if you ever see him go in the house, he takes humans. And it was a red-eyed Sasquatch. So that's probably who it was, or what it was.
Yeah, and then I mean at the end it goes. What are you guys barking at? I see nothing out there.
Hey, I was going to show
Go.
William.
Yep. Oh, I got something new too.
Oh, got a heart in it.
Yeah.
And you can smoke out of it.
Can't go wrong with that. I get to play Leonidas now. King Leonidas.
Smoke and then hit somebody over the head with it. Yeah.
I got something given to me, so I get to play King Leonidas now.
Oh, that's killer. Man, that's nice.
That was given to me.
That is beautiful.
I about shit when they gave it to me.
I'm still working on your claw.
No worries. That's going right on where this wooden one is. That's what's going to replace that wooden one.
When I drilled the hole for it, I didn't have the oil that I usually use, and the press, it caught in the press, and I didn't have a hold of it good, and it just cracked it, and I was like, ugh.
Heck yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'll fix it a little bit. Oh. Bounty, I got my yet. Heck yeah. I need to get me a new pipe, man. I really do. Yes, you did. It is beautiful, Roxanne. Yeah. Man, David's like, sweet. And Vicky's like going zombie hunting. Hell yeah. Dude, I was shocked when they gave that to me. I was like, dude, no, I can't take this as a gift. And they're like, no, I want you to have it. And I was like, oh, dude. Oh, shit. Yeah. Huh?
Who made it? Does that have a stamp?
Oh, I love that sound. Zing.
That's what I was leaning and going to say. I love that sound.
Combat Commander, high carbon steel. Combat Commander. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if you guys.
Get in there and pull it out again and make that sound again.
I love that sound. Zing.
Hey, it's going down.
I was told that I didn't need to be in the woods without one of these. That's why it was given to me.
I'll show you. Hey, hold on, I'll be right back.
Yep. Yes, Roxanne. Yes, they do. Fluffy the Cryptid Slayer. Oh. Oh. Wow.
Man, I've had this thing. I'm trying to figure out a practical way to carry it. You know, when you're moving through the trees and everything, it's when you hang it on your waist, it kind of catches on stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a way to keep it right here.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to build my own scabbard for it.
Yeah. Well, I've got my new scout knife I got a few months ago. That's a Scallywag tactical one. That's my new scout knife.
Yeah. Scallywag. DA shows up all the time.
Yep. I've got it set up as a scout knife carry too. Because that's how I want. I wanted that small on my back so I can just pull it out real quick.
So you get to it quick.
Yep.
But you can tell one of my favorite movies, Highlander.
Yeah, there can only be one. You're going to fight Persians at Hell's Gate in the West. Hell yeah. Moulin Live, man. You want them, come take them.
There's something about a predator.
Firewater. Firewater says, look at the boys comparing their weapons. Who has the biggest? Yeah. No, that's when I got this one in, because this is one of the newest ones that I'd got. And I bought it with the Sezzle too. I mean, the whole purpose was buying this is I wanted something heavy and solid that I could scout carry. Honestly, that's why I bought this one here. So, but yeah, I mean it sits on a small of my back like that, so I can always reach behind me and just grab it and have it at quick access.
Eric, are you familiar with a guy named Manny Puig? Did you ever watch Jackass or the Wild Boys? And they had that
Jackass
with the beard, and he had a Mako shark tooth necklace. He's kind of a Tarzan looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
He always did the wild animals. He was crazy. He ran up and snatched a lion by the tail and jerked its tail on a break type thing for this African tribe. But I learned something from him. He was in the ocean swimming with Mako sharks, and everybody else was in the water. There was probably 2 or 3 more people, and he said the Mako shark will study everyone and find the weakest swimmer of the whole group. Well, they had a girl with them who wasn't as strong a swimmer as all the guys, and it started messing with her. And they didn't have scuba on; they were just free diving. But he took his knife out and held it out to the front of him. And he said, "That's the predator. A predator will recognize another predator."
Mm-hmm.
And he held out his knife, and that thing quit messing with that girl. And I got to thinking, man, that's a good idea for anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm not saying a gun's not going to help you, but there may be a moment where a sword's going to be a better option.
Yeah.
If they do recognize the blade as a tooth or a fang or a claw, you may not even bother with it at all.
Well, think about it. Whenever they say you get charged, you're supposed to make yourself look big and sound mean.
Manny that caught the wild gators. Yes, that's him. Manny Puig. He's African.
Eric the short and stout works just as well as the long and thin. It's about the size of the weapon. It's the magic in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still boned.
There's a South Park episode about that.
But honestly, a good blade is just as important as a first aid kit. I mean, it's a part of a survival kit. It's a part of a first aid kit. I mean, heaven forbid something happens to get impaled in you and you got to cut it out. And you don't have a knife to cut it out. What are you going to do? Jack up their wound even more?
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't go all the way through where you got to push it through, what are you going to do? It's like, sorry about your luck. I'm going to hammer this thing through. No, you need a good sharp blade to make a slit in there so you can push that out of there. And I didn't even start it, William. That's the funny thing is I didn't even start it. Then didn't they make another different kind of long fixed knife? Haven't been on. I can't remember. I haven't been on there in a little while. But yeah, no. I mean, it's. I'm always got. I'm an old Marine grunt, and I'm an old hillbilly. I mean, I love my knives. I mean, I got different kinds of knives. It's up there. I still got my K-bar. That K-bar's been with me on 2 deployments.
My birthday one year, he made me and he's a forger. You know, he forges knives and blades and stuff. And Well, actually, he gave me this one 25 years ago.
Wow.
But he forged one out of a 3/4 piece of rebar.
Mm-hmm.
And it is beautiful. You know, and he studies all the steps and everything to do it, how many times to reheat it, you know, the hardened heat, the hardened heat. But giving me a hard time about, he said, well, yeah, you may need to throw it. I said, I don't plan on this so much ever leaving my hand.
Yeah.
Perfectly good weapon. That's the firewater.
Never mind. It was closer than I thought. I thought it was up top. It's not. I mean, I still keep this thing has been. I've cleaned a lot of deer with this. This has been in 2 deployments with me. It was given to me by a very dear friend. I mean, I've went on. This thing is rode on my hip for I don't know how many thousands of miles on my motorcycle. I mean, I love that dude. Problem is, I can't scout carry it, and that was the whole point of me getting that one. Is I needed something that I could scout carry. This one here, you can't scout carry. It works good on my flak. I used to carry it on my flak vest in Iraq like this, and that way I can just it sits on my flak vest, and I can just go and I have it. That's how I used to carry it. Was right here on my left shoulder on my flak vest. Spent many years with that like that.
If they ever figure out how to make a real lightsaber, it's on.
Dude, yes.
That's all I'm about.
Hell yeah. That's cute. He calls it his K-bar. It is my K-bar.
I like the one we use.
Yeah.
The one silver one.
Why do you sharpen your K-bar? What do I sharpen my K-bar with? I have a couple of cross steels that I use. I like it because it puts a nice, real even edge on it. I want the one that moves as you sharpen it, so it comes down and does this. I just don't have the money for that right now. Mine just sits in there as 2 wheels and sits like that.
Adjust to the way you rock your hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I use, and it's been the best thing so far, is a light bulb element out of a high pressure sodium light, like a grow light. When those burn out, I always take the elements out of them. That thing will last forever.
No, clothes are overrated. Firewater. My daughter's not here. She's at her friend's house. The only reason why I got something on now is because I'm alive. I hate clothes. You don't sheath them with them. Yeah, she's on one today. Bored. My God, dude. No, Kate, come on, man. Come here. Get your lovin's in real quick. I'm live and you're being a butt. Yes, I know, buddy. You've been a bad boy here lately, though. You've been a holy terror. I do love you, though. You big freaking knucklehead. I just need to start calling you Meathead. I swear, you're part pit bull. I swear you're part pit bull because you're stubborn as hell to train. You know that? Sorry, guys. He's being needy. So
I don't do Renaissance festivals.
I would like to go, but I've never been to one.
Yeah, I'm good.
No, you can't. Oh, dude, you're too big to be up on my shoulder. God bless America. You are way too big. You're not a small puppy no more. You're a big puppy now. Come on, dude. Your massive tail is like knocking everything around. No, you can't climb up on my shoulder. You're too big. Ah. Sorry, guys. Woo. No. I knew exactly what you were doing, dude. I know how you think. Sorry, he tried to whirl around real quick, get back up before I can get him blocked off. That's my life, guys. This is what I deal with every day. Is that. But but no, I mean, to me, like I was saying, a good knife is just as important,
What are you talking about, Roxanne?
My neighbor told me he runs around the house without clothes and winked. I told him that's too scary.
What did he wink with?
Yeah. It's a good life. Yeah, I mean, I live out in the middle of nowhere. I don't have to worry about anybody seeing me. That's why I love where I live at.
Me too.
Yeah, I used to call my labs till a tabletop cleared. That ain't no kidding. I swear this dude, he is probably the most stubborn lab I've ever had to train. I mean, he absolutely just will not learn. And every time I look at him, I was like, because I love pit bulls. Pit bulls are one of my favorite dogs. They are the autistic child of the dog world. I mean, they are autistic as hell, but one of the best dogs you can get. But he reminds me so much of a pit bull.
And loyal to a fault.
Oh, dude. His farts are.
This is my first half lab, half pit bull.
Yeah, I love them.
I can see its early intelligence that pit bull puppies don't have at that age.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's been my favorite combination is lab and pit mixed, because they got the strength of the pit bull, the determination of a pit bull, but they got the intelligence of a lab and the agility of a lab too. I love that combination. That is, to me, a really, really, really good combination. I've had 3 or 4 lab and pit mixed, and I love them to death. Yeah.
A little bit of confidence.
Yeah. I'll tell you. I mean, that's one of my most preferred ones. If I can't have a purebred pit, I will take a lab pit mixed any day. I mean, I love that combination in dogs.
He's so damn cute. I can't even, when I go to the store, I have to park off to the side because when I come out to the pickup, everybody's standing around it.
Yeah. That's good, Firewater. Yeah. No, I mean, it's honestly, it's such a good combination. Hey, Jessica. Dude, yes, hands down. I'll play that. Hey. Hold on.
Hey, Jessica.
I swear these animals are going to be the death of me. I will stick with my Roddy. Dude, your Roddy's pretty badass, Don. I'll give you that. Let me play this last male voice for you guys. And I want you guys to pay attention to that language. And I may have to play, because it's been so long, I may have to play them again together. But here's that last one. I mean, he did the same thing that first male did. Right at the end goes, ka.
See, that's what I was talking about with when the one was imitating the owl.
Mm-hmm.
off, it would fall off. And I wish I'm going to record it if I ever hear it again. If I can
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. And you can tell how further out that one is there to the first male. I mean, he was a little bit harder to catch. I mean, like I said, I'll have to play him again. That way you guys get a concept because it's kind of far apart in between them. But this is the type of stuff that, this is why for a long, long time, this is stuff I've heard. I've heard this numerous times. Okay. And when I finally caught it, that's what excited me because I was like, I finally got confirmation. And I ain't going to lie, man, I was in tears. I was in tears because I finally got proof of what I've been saying for a long time. And this is why I've always said, I believe Bigfoots have language, not just from the stories. I mean, you hear stories around the world of these things talking and interacting with people. I caught it. I finally caught some audio. And
I heard.
Dude, and that female, that female, when she was talking, you can tell she was being loving, calming. She was caring. She was a nurturer. What a female is supposed to be. A female is the nurturer, the caretaker. That's what, huh?
You tell the voice is feminine.
Yeah, and I'll play that again for you guys here real quick. I mean, the proof's in the pudding right there, folks. I mean, you can see how these things are nurturing. And I've always suspected that they are not, because we're very similar, that their parenting styles would probably be the same way in that aspect. And to me, that voice for me, I mean, that's just me. To me, that voice pretty much confirms that.
And the patriarch, he sits and watches the whole family, and watches him. But like when the young ones are moving around, the big one will tell them no in their own language. Stop that. Yeah. They'll give them a. But the first one I heard, we heard a tree break and rode down to the spot we heard it from, and we killed the 4-wheelers in less than a minute. This thing, it revved up like a piece of heavy equipment. It said, "Oh," and then it just died down. And I said, "What the hell is that?" My cousin goes, "Oh no!" And I said, "Dude, is that a piece of heavy equipment?" The only thing I'd ever heard that I could, relate that to.
I may have that.
Come up with a logical explanation for something, and then it moved. It moved position and did it again. And I'm going, where the hell is that? So I start going looking for it. And I see now that it was trying to run us off, and it was probably thinking, what is this idiot doing?
Yeah. I don't remember if this is the right roar or not. I'm downloading one of one of the roars because if this is the one, I've got 3 of them as roar, and I can't remember which one is very similar to what you was talking about. I may just have to download all 3. I don't know. I've got the one. Let me get caught up on the comments real quick. Yes. Yeah. Deidre, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was catching that was just amazing. If they can teach a silverback gorilla sign language, then Bigfoot can talk. Absolutely, William. I mean, hey, Urso. Let me see if this is the right one. Here we go. Yeah, you hear that? I mean, that was one of 3 roars that I captured. This one
had to have been anywhere from 50 to 100 feet from us.
Mm-hmm.
And what the crazy part was, I was sitting there thinking, how is that thing moving from this spot to this spot in just a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Equipment doesn't move that fast. I didn't hear any beeping, you know. But like I said, I was like 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
And didn't know about this stuff yet, like I do now.
I'm just getting ready to play. Oh, okay. I'll have to re-download it, William. Give me a second. Actually, I'll download all 3 roars. Yeah, give me a second. I was deleting it so I can make room. I'll have to get your guys' comments in a minute. Let me download all these again. That's 20. That was the one. That's going to be the first one right after the second male's voice. Oops. $21. And 22. Okay. All right, let me get caught up on the comments real quick, and then we'll play that roar again. Yes, yeah, Kyokyo was a prolific communicator. She grieved her little kitten ball. Oh, dude, I hate hearing that. That breaks my heart. All species have language where the body language or verbal. There is an understanding between species. Humanity is the one last thing trying to catch up. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely, I can see that, Bounty. Yeah. At some point, Native Americans were teaching Bigfoot. Yeah, William and I has talked about that several times, Snyder. That not only did our ancestors learn from them, but they learned from us, and I think they still learn from us, and in a way, we still learn from them. Here you go, William. Here's that first roar again. And here it is. Here's the second one. That one was a little shorter, a little closer. You heard it roar, kind of like that. And here's the last one. That one was really distant. Another one kind of like the first one, but further out. But yeah.
And the tree break we heard before we drove down and got the roars, that was a clean, healthy tree break.
Yeah.
Tell it when you hear it. This one was a snap like a shotgun. And my cousin said, probably a big old buck rubbing up against a tree. And I looked at him and I said, that wasn't no buck. Bucks don't break trees like that.
Yeah.
It had to have took a 8-inch, 10-inch healthy one and just snapped it with its hand to make this sound.
Deidre, yeah, the female and both the males were Native American words. Yeah. Think they travel vocally further than a swoon. Well, you got to think too. This is at nighttime, so noise not only amplifies at night, but carries a much longer distance at night because there's not near as much noise at night as there's the daytime to drown it out. So therefore, technically, it's not amplified, but that's what it seems like. It seems like it's amplified and it carries longer. That's because there's no background noise to clog it up. So therefore, at nighttime,
there's more moisture in the air. When there's more humidity in the air and the sun's down, the noise travels farther. But let me ask you this, Eric. Do you know the difference between when you hear a real coyote and something trying to imitate a coyote? One trying to imitate a coyote, you'll hear an echo of the yip in the house.
Oh,
you won't hear it with a real coyote. They don't echo.
Yeah, I didn't ever think about that. I never thought about it. I tried, William, but sadly, I couldn't. If I cut out that, then it takes away from the roar. That's why I had to put it that way. And that's actually done. That is actually brought down a little bit. And that's why it's still kind of hard to hear, because when I was trying to bring that static down, it was taken away from the roar as well.
There's animals in the woods that can make multiple sounds. You know, a fox, those things can make more than you can count on your fingers and toes all together.
Yeah, he's saying coyotes, Deidre. Coyotes don't echo.
And if you ever hear a peacock, if anybody ever raised a peacock, it sounds just like a woman yelling for help.
Oh yeah, they're. They'll
go. Meow.
Yep.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I heard one of them noisy bastards. Good dogs, though. Man, you want something as a good guard dog? Peacock.
Yeah.
Peacock is a good guard dog. They'll tell you about anything. You better not be chewing on nothing, or I want to chew on your head. Urso's daughter's having kittens. I don't need none.
No, cows do not echo.
Yeah, when you was talking about the coyotes. See how you said the coyotes. Dude, they're noisy as hell.
3 of them, if you don't know what to listen for and know what they listen, 3 of them sound like 10 of them when they get worked up.
Now, a coyote will sound like a woman screaming bloody murder in the woods too, just like a fox will. A fox would definitely do it too, but I mean, a coyote, I've literally heard coyotes screaming bloody murder, and it sounds like a woman's getting mutilated in the woods. They are, when they get to going, man, they get to going.
Yeah, we've got a whole den of them living in town. And I was like, man, where are these things denned up at? And I was sitting at the mechanic shop one day, and I looked over across the alley, and there was a camper shell, like an old pickup camper shell that's probably been sitting there 20 years. And I looked over, and I saw something move in the glass of it. It had a glass where if you had it on your cab, you could see out the back.
Mm-hmm.
And moving around in there. That's in the middle of town. Where's the best place to hide? In plain sight.
Oh, yeah.
They're super intelligent.
Yeah, I've got a gray wolf and a red wolf that run around here.
We've got a red wolf, too.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you something that is very rare. Extremely rare to hear. But if you hear it, that thing will send a shiver up your spine like nothing you'll ever have heard before. And that's a damn cougar.
Yeah.
I mean, cougars are not very vocal, but when they are, dude, your whole body freezes up and chills.
The first one I ever heard was in Arkansas. I went and stayed there and went camping spring break of my senior year in high school. It was the first year I heard one. And my friend's dad said, you boys want to go camping? Let me take you to a spot. Well, I didn't know he was taking us to Mercer Bayou. Down there, that's where the Boggy Creek Monster and all that stuff started, down there in Bloomberg.
Yeah.
And yeah. Your chill comes up your spine.
Yep. I mean, it's I don't know if I can do it because I've only heard it about 2 or 3 times my whole life, but it's something like a wow. Something I can't do it. I cannot get it.
You remember the old sirens that you used to crank up back
in
the day? That's kind of what I thought of when I first heard it.
Yeah.
Someone just started turning one, and revved it up real quick. But like I said, that my friend's dad, he's the one that owns the logging company that I was talking about. Mercer Bayou's the hot spot for all of them, and we were camped right in the middle of them. I didn't even believe in Sasquatch then. I was 17 years old. I did when I was little.
Yeah, I was, man.
All the grown folks told me I was just crazy and
I can get that. I can get that bobcat sound. That damn cougar sound is hard to get. I mean, the bobcat's easy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Living in that junkyard,
Mm-hmm.
old salvage yard, and I moved an old box van the other day, and 3 of them babies come running out, and one of them almost ran up my leg.
Yeah. 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 They God, I can't do that cougar. That cougar is so hard to get, but man, I'm telling you, you don't even know you're listening to a cougar, and that damn thing will send that shiver right up your spine. Your body will lock up and send that shiver up your spine. I remember the very first time I had it was down off the Niagara River, and I was coming back. Now I could tell part of it. Me and a lady friend were coming back from a swimming hole, and it was getting kind of dark, and we heard it up on the cliff above us. And I was like, oh, shit.
Hey, Eric, I had a friend that lived in town, and he had a heat and air business, and he bought this old rock feed and seed store, one of those old fortified type buildings.
Mm-hmm.
He had a male and a female in there. And he had cages built for them and everything, and had a line spray painted on the ground outside the cage where they could reach you, so you'd know not to step too close. You could pet the female. She'd play with you like a dog.
Yeah.
The male with your hand and, kind of bite down on you, but it's a good thing I had enough beers in me.
Yeah.
Stick my hand in there and pet her that day. But he would let her out, and this guy rigged this place up, Eric, to where if one killed him, it wouldn't be able to get out.
Yeah.
Well, he had a little swimming pool in there with the logging chain anchored to the floor, and he put her in there on a leash and let her play in that little pool. And he had a X spray painted on the floor with fluorescent orange paint. And I said, "What's this mark?" And he said, "That's when my brother come in here one day drunk and was messing with her, and he kept going like that to her." And he said, "You better quit." And said, she just kind of looked at him. He said, "Bah!" She said, "Meow." He said, "You better." He said, "She can't reach me from here," and went, "Raw!" And said she jumped out of that pool, and all he had time to do was turn his back before he tried to run, and she pounced on him. and she's just a baby, she's a sweetheart, but she jumped on him and bit him on the back and stuff, but barely even broke the skin. But that X is where she got him with that logging jumping out of that little kiddie pool. I guarantee is over 20 feet, and that's just horsing around.
Dang.
But the male, you couldn't pet him. But Mike said, "Man, you ought to hear him mate." He said, "That's when it gets spooky."
Mm. Yeah.
And I got some of the craziest ass friends.
Well, I mean, shit, I can't say nothing because I'm probably, people always talk about how crazy I am, and I make people, I love it when they get stoned because I always go, "Do you ever think maybe I'm the normal one and you're not?" And you just see the contemplation going off in her head because they're like, "Dude, huh?"
I mean, I'm stoned.
Yeah, because they're like, "Man, it's kind of hard to pick on somebody that doesn't give a shit." And then, there's always talking about, "Man, you're nuts, you're crazy." I mean, because we have a great time when some of my friends and me get together. And Chunky Dunk. And I do, man. I wait till they get stoned when they get to running their mouth about that. Like, you ever think maybe I'm the same one and you're not? Hey, William, thank you for coming in. You take it easy, bro.
See you, William.
I think I heard my dog whining and wanting to see. What? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's there's so many things out there, and the thing is too, like a fox will mimic animals too. I've heard foxes come out and go like that. I've heard them do that as well.
They are
Sadly,
so it's unreal.
Mhm.
You know, that's the first thing or the second thing I thought of that day when that one was watching me through that hole in that thicket. After I drilled, that's not a cow. You know, it can't be a cow. And I thought, maybe it's a fox. Especially after that one sidestep. But I've never seen a brindle fox. So
I've heard of brindle werewolves and I've heard of brindle dogmen, but never a brindle fox or a brindle coyote or a brindle wolf.
this one had the stripes, you know, running like here, 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 just all going that direction.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought was, you know, it was a cow because of the shape of its head. And I thought to myself, what the hell's a cow? You know, through a hole, push through a thicket. I'm sideways now. I think I froze up.
No, you're good. I was letting you get your phone moved in position.
It slipped off my little holder here.
Yeah. So, no, I mean you guys have got to understand that. You know, it's kind of like what we was talking about this morning on Williams' channel. You know, you got to understand the noises in the woods. What makes noises? What doesn't make noises? Know the difference between what's making noises and what ain't making. You got to know that stuff.
And pay attention to when the wind dies down and everything goes quiet. That means there's a predator in the area.
Yep. And if you notice, when you walk in the woods, there's a lot of times it'll go quiet until it gets used to you being there.
Yeah, like if you got cicadas or something like that, man, when they hear you at night, they quiet down.
Mm-hmm.
Grasshoppers, crickets, everything. But man, when they get used to you and then you hear them die down again, head on a swivel.
Yep.
Most likely
That's yeah. I mean, it could be like like I said, I've got all different kinds of predators. Excuse me. All different kinds of predators in my woods. So I mean, it can be a number of different things.
And our bobcats, we've got black ones now. Have you seen those?
No, I've seen a really dark brown, but I've never seen a black.
No kidding. They're black now, and they've almost got a silvery tiger stripe to them, and
Huh.
a tail about that long.
Yeah.
Because a guy down on the river showed me a game trail pic of one, and I said, "Man, that's not a bobcat. It's got a tail. You know, it's 3 times as long as the little tail nub they've had before." And I got to looking at it. Man, the legs on this thing is thick. I mean, but they're evolving.
They're starting to sound more. Starting to sound like they're getting back to their roots and becoming a lynx again.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, man, maybe they're changing, and maybe this isn't what they look like the whole time. What we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to think a lynx and a bobcat are pretty much the same thing, just a different area. A lynx is a little bit older than a bobcat is. And that's why I've always theorized that that's where a bobcat comes from, because there's so much similarity between a bobcat and a lynx. And that could be what's going on. They could be going back to their original form, which was that of we know as the lynx.
Do you remember what Jerry Clower called the lynx? He called it a souped up bobcat.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, black squirrels they're rare. Black squirrels are rare. Well, at least they are here. You have to go.
If you ever catch a squirrel in a box, don't reach your hand in there and try to pet
it. Roxanne says Canada has black bobcats.
They must be moving through here then.
Could be.
Never seen one till that picture. I've never seen one in person. All mine around my place are brown.
Mm. Firewires. Okay, I want a black bobcat now.
You have to get it away from the mama the time it's born.
Yeah.
If you stay with its mama for 24 hours, it'll always have that wild. You can't domesticate them, but you can get close. But the old boy that had the mountain lions explained all that to me because he had a bobcat in there too.
Firewater's making out with a squirrel. Pip, let me get to first base once. But yeah, no, it's just good. Oh man, I did not realize the time. Cool, we got 10 minutes. Well, it means we got 9 minutes now. You got any closing thoughts you got that you want to share with everybody?
Man, not really. I never have any closing thoughts.
I didn't even realize the time. I don't even have my little poem pulled up yet. I've got to pull it up.
Man, all I want to say is, I love all you guys in chat. Man, you're like family now. I feel like if I met you, I feel like I've known you, for years. You guys are awesome.
Heck yeah, man. We got some of the best subscribers on here, I swear. Hey, tell us a little bit about your show that you're going to be creating.
I'm calling it Boondock Mojo. It won't be long. I was going to start it last year, and my mother passed. And so I put it on the back burner for a little while. But it's going to be a little bit of my personality, so you probably haven't seen a paranormal channel like this before. I'll say, Eric's a little bit country and I'm a little rock and roll. But like I said, I'd love to have some of you guys on as guests that's in the chat. And you too, Eric and William. And William's already said he'd be a guest on, so I'm going to get him first.
Heck yeah, get him. Get him on there.
But like I said, Bounty Hunting Bear, and you too, Freaky. If you ever want to come on.
Heck yeah.
Firewater, any of you guys.
Heck yeah. So I do want to put something out there. If you're not friends with me on my author's Facebook page, I had posted an idea that I'm putting to everybody's thoughts. So I've been writing these kind of like these little romantic sci-fi short stories and posting them on my Patreon. And I've kicked around today making a book out of all of them that I post on my Patreon. So I put it on there for you guys to answer if you think you guys want a book like that or not. I was working on another story today to release for next Friday because I drew a writer's block on the Saga Grimson book that I'm currently working on. I'm getting way too ahead of myself in the book, and I've got to work myself out of this jam. So because I am not ready for this type of fight that I was getting into. And I went, oh shit. So now I'm trying to figure out how to write myself out of this jam because it's way too early in the book to get to the fight level that we've been fighting at in this book. So I took a break from it today. And I started.
Now you know how Taylor Sheridan feels.
Yeah. I did. I wasn't even thinking about it. Man, I was getting into this fight scene. I'm like, yeah. I went, shit, this is only chapter 7. Okay, Roxanne.
I'll wait.
Amanda Quill and Tracy Hall's already commented on it. And they're both like, yeah, man, you got to make these into books. So I'm kicking it around. I've got if you go on to my author's Facebook, I do have a cover for it made. So look for that cover. You'll see where I'm, pose you guys to questions. Get on there, comment, let me know what you think. Thanks, Bounty. And so, I mean, that's going on.
Look up Foot Erotica.
It's not. That is not my. I have not worked on my erotica in a while. I know I probably need to. My erotica has been on the back burner. I've got. So far, I've got to change the title because right now it's love, romance, and erotica. I think is what it's called. I haven't worked on it in a couple years. I mean, I've spent years writing erotica, and I just kind of put that on the back burner because I need to come up with some better stories. So yes, I do have one I'm working on. It's just not my top priority right now. Thanks, Vicky.
Sasquatch
That's
love.
a good, huh? Yeah.
Love.
Yeah. Yeah, Firewater. I agree. I mean, that's some good stuff. I mean, to grow on. But yeah, I mean, it's something I've wrote for years, but I'm trying to get out of that type of writing. Not really out of it, but not be what I write all the time, if that makes sense. So it's kind of put to the back burner. I was trying. I've kicked that. That dang freaking mouse. I've kicked that around, Roxanne. I'm starting to do it with this new one that's going to be out next Friday. I'm kind of testing the waters because the problem is when I get to writing that way, then I get into my erotica mode, and I'm trying not to have this one that tight. Thanks, Deidre. But yeah, so I mean, it's some. I like sci-fi. That's why I've been writing some of them short stories. I'm gonna be creating some different kind of short stories for Patreon as well. That's not that way. It's not sci-fi. It's going to be something else, But just give it a think. Let me know what you guys think, and if seems like it's a growing thing that people want, so I may end up doing it. Soon as my INYAR readers get done with Beast of the Ozarks First Kill, we'll do whatever needs to be done to it. I'll get it sent to my editor, my brother that edits for me, and then I'm hoping to have it out within the month. I'm hoping to have it out. Really depends on how long it takes everybody to read it and see what they think. It is, yeah, it is. This style's writing's a little bit different for me, Roxanne. Because I'm so used to writing one way. And I have to see when I'm writing love scenes into my books too. That's why I started these sci-fi short love stories, because I've got to get myself out of one mindset of thinking. So this is kind of a way for me to help work on that, changing a writing approach, because love scenes to me, even in my cryptid horrors, my historical fictions, my sci-fis, I believe is very important. But because I've wrote a certain way on that aspect for so many years, I'm trying to train myself not to get back in that way. So that's why I'm kind of doing this type of stuff. It's training for me. And I think the stories are good. Could it be better? Yeah, probably could be better. But I think they're good. But that's why I put them on Patreon. So whoever's a Patreon reader can read them and give me their thoughts on it.
That's how
That's
how you get better.
Yeah. And that is one side of my aspect of my writing that I know I have to work on, and that's why I'm doing this. But I'm kind of killing a couple birds with one stone, because I kind of like how the stories come out, so that's why I'm putting them out there. And but it's also helped me to learn how to soften love scenes up. So it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah,
but yeah, so we're
a straightforward style to soft. That's difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody, thank you for coming.
Hunter S. Thompson. My favorite author is Hunter S. Thompson.
Good one.
And when I write, I tend to fall into that.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of difficult for me to do something like that. But yeah. I get it.
Yeah. Firewater, you're correct, but believe it or not, I've had a lot of, how do I put this politely? A lot of requests for my erotica. So, oh, no worries. Okay. But yeah, so that stuff should be coming soon. Next week, catch us on William's show Friday night, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and then I'll have my shows Saturday night and Sunday night. This is the poem I wrote that I like to do at the end of my Sunday shows, and it goes like this. There comes a time when the warrior falls. They leave this realm and will be missed by all. Raise a glass and keep them in your heart. They have kept this realm safe and performed their part. Look to your veterans, your active duty, your EMTs in the blue line. What they do or have done was walk that fine line. When the demon comes calling on your soul, they will be there to save us all. Hold them in their prayers, for they are deserving. They all have served or are serving. To all my subscribers, from my new to my OGs, thank you guys very much. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and let's continue to make this grow and have a good time. I'll be talking with Shane a little bit here and there, and about next week to see if we can get him on to do the Dogman one next week. Yeah.
Good guy.
Cory, thank you so much for coming on. To my mods, thank you so much for helping us out tonight. So until next week, everybody, peace, love, and blessings.